I must admit, y'all, I know I am perfect and I don't put it out there to be perfect. And usually when I make these videos and I talk about certain things and these things that happen to do, I talk about, it's just like, hey, I've been through it. I know a lot of you are going through it or have gone through it and it's probably still feeling like, okay, you know what? Gene confirmed it and I appreciate the content that he put. Cool. But I ain't gonna lie to you, this week, as I was walking, getting ready to go to work, and I had a meeting to attend, right? This one person I don't know from a can of paint, and it just confirmed the things that I talk about, and it just confirmed, especially in the title of the video, exactly what I mean. And it's like, dang, how am I able to talk about these things and then this is actually happening? Usually, they say, right, it's the thing that said that if you don't have haters, you ain't doing nothing right. I prove myself right. As I'm walking to the train station, getting ready to go to work, right? There's one person. I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at my stomach. I'm like, dang, I got bloated because, the night before I had me some cherries, and I'm sharing this with y'all because I'm letting y'all know I'm not perfect, y'all. I'm telling you, I have flaws. You know what I mean? But I ain't perfect. So I'm looking at myself like, dang, all right, you know what, though? And I had me a bottle of water, and usually I'm like, okay, you know what, though? I had a big bag of cherries. So this person came out of nowhere. I was like, yo, you need to start going to the gym. Mind you, I go to the gym like at least 4 times a week, right? Now, I'm not saying that, I'm 100% perfect or not, but like where I'm going with this is this, right? And I look at the person, I'm like, yo, I look, trying to make sure, do I know this person? Like, yeah, you need to go to the gym. You need to start going to the gym. I'm looking at the person like, yo, do I know? Now, don't get me wrong. Critique, people telling you something, but it was the way that person said it. I'm like, yo, for that person to come out of nowhere and say something like that, yo, that tells you a lot about a person. Now, don't get me wrong. You have people that'll tell you like, hey, put on somebody. At least you ask them, right? But this person, I never talked to this person. I don't know this person from can of paint, and to make sure. And then by the time I turned around, I'm looking at this person drove off. That's what I'm telling you about people. Miserable people will do all that they can to stop you. They'll do all they can. They say things that they can say to you because they have no identity. Now, do I know this person? I don't know this person from a can of paint. But you're gonna have people in your life, and even if you don't know them, even if you don't know them, they're gonna say certain things to you, try to start trouble with you, and do things to you to make you get out your character. And you gotta learn that. Look, me that morning, I was actually in a good mood, right at the time. Still in good mood, chilling, staying positive. I do my prayers and everything. But for that person to really come out, and mind you, I'm not paying no attention to that person, right? They have to be going through something. They're still questioning him, especially I seen him. He seemed like he's like an older person. He seemed like he's an older person, and to confirm that I knew it was something my mind wasn't, off. I had somebody complimented me actually that day 1 or 2 times. They told me, yo, you look like you real fit. Like, don't get me wrong, I ain't perfect, y'all. Like, what I mean, I do. But they'll tell me, like, yo, you look like you really in good fit shape. And, what do you do? So I thought about it. I'm like, okay. But where I'm going with this is this. And before I continue, let me introduce myself. This is Gene, your best friend, your new best friend. I invite you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. All right. Also, I want to do a special shout out to one of my loyal subscribers. One of them, Asia Austin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the donation. She gave me a donation, and I ain't gonna lie, that really made me feel happy. And the message that she put up there, and she knows, and it was, I really appreciate it. It's not because she gave me something. It was just that the fact that many of you, and I'm sure a lot of you, you work so hard, especially in this time right now. Financially, it's not easy, and then she just took, she took her resources and just donated me because it's a message that I gave you know, and she, you know, thank you so much, Asia Austin, if I said it correctly, you know, comment below, you know, but back to the video. You know, miserable people will do all that they can to try and stop you from anything. You could be a person that just minding your own business. You could be a person that's just focused on, you know, you see the future, you see them, you see everything a mile away, and it's like you just feel like, wow, I made it this far. And guess what? Even if you're just laughing and you're just minding your business, you're gonna find people that's gonna come out of nowhere and gonna try to say something to you in a disrespectful way. And it's sad to say, it's got to the point where these miserable people have nothing to live for, right? An example, that same guy who said something to me, right, early that morning, how he would not know who I could be going through something. I could be, you know, a criminal, and just off of saying something like that, and you're going to say something like that to somebody, it tells you that you really hate that person, has really nothing to live for. Why? Because you saying something to be funny and you don't even know that person's personality. Now, for me, I may come off as a person, like for example, like I was in a good mood, I was chilling, I was just looking at myself, I was just like, and that tells too, like I'm really big on looking at myself, like my skin, if I notice anything about my body, I'm self-aware, and probably seen that, oh, he cares about himself. Who he think he is. Let me say something to hurt his feelings and then get him. And that happens. It happens because people that have no identity, they just, especially miserable people, they just don't see hope. They just see, okay, you know, they see things as, okay, you know, I mean, I'm doing a 9 to 5 and that's it. You know what I mean? So with you as a person that sees your future, you wanting to build that business, or you're going to that business, right? Or you know that, okay, you know, I want to make an extra few hundred, 1,000 this week. Yo, you know, they don't see that anything past $200. They just see that, okay, you know, at the end of the Friday, I'm gonna go and get me a beer, I'm gonna get, you know, go party, and that's it, that's life. And that's why you can't pay them no attention. Like me personally, I did not feel no type of way. I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't feel no type of way because I know that, okay, you know what? My stomach is a little bit bloated at the time, and you know, I may have to like calm down on, you know, probably, and it was late. You know, may not have to eat late. You know what I mean? But some other people, they'll ruin their day, but it didn't mess up my day because I know who I am, I know what I'm aware of. And that's what you ought to do the same thing too. You know what I mean? Because nobody can judge you but God. We all came here, we all came here individually, and we're all leaving by ourselves. At least if you're not a twin, you know what I mean? But where I'm going with this is this. When you see that things are going good for you and people are trying to attack you and people are trying to come at you and trying to hurt your feelings, no matter what the situation is, I always say just walk away. Don't even feel some type of way. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm gonna pat myself on the shoulder. I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Huh? And when that person said, laugh, and I just kept on walking, you know what I mean? I was like, dang, it's really that deep for somebody that you don't know to really say some stuff like that to you, to come at you in some type of way. Now, is it true? You know, do I need to start working out? No, because I am in the gym. Maybe I have to change my eating habits, you know what I mean? And maybe I need to calm down on certain foods that I'm eating, you know what I mean? And I know that I don't eat all the time, you know what I mean? But am I in shape, and do I see my body? Yeah, I'm definitely in shape. Is my stomach a little bloated? Yeah, but that's a part of being self-aware and knowing what you need to work on, right? So where I'm going with this is this. Miserable people, let's be real with you, they're bums, right? They don't have no identity. They don't know, you know, what they really want in life. And 9 times out of 10, they don't went through something and some type of trauma that, and also to accountability. That's another thing too. A lot of those people, they don't have no identity, and they don't realize that, hey, you know what? I have to make what let's put it like this. I have to do what makes me happy. For a lot of us, we know how to move like that. We can be like, okay, you know what? This is not making me happy. I'm gonna get up. Okay, I'm in this relationship. This person is making me miserable. I'm gonna get up and just go. I'm gonna get therapy. All right, cool. Those type of people, they'll just stick through that relationship because some type of dependency. They trying to get over on someone, or they're getting abused. Who knows? But like I said, and as I stated, miserable people, they'll do all they can do to make it, to just not. They're trying to take your happiness away because they don't have no identity. They don't know who they are, so they're trying to take yours. If that makes sense. So, if this video resonated with you, yo, comment below. Comment below, say thank you. Gene, I was going through that. I understand. And it's not only people that you don't know, because a lot of the people has to do with family. A lot of people have to do with people that you once knew, or they're spreading rumors about you. And that's, hey, if you got people spreading rumors about you, it's not true. You already know. You might as well say you're a celebrity, right? Like, for example, I might as well just say I'm low-key a celebrity because that person just came out of nowhere and just said something to me, and I don't even know him, right? Now I'm saying that like being a celebrity means anything, like I said, you know what I mean? But hey, if it gets that deep for someone to really come at you and say something like that to you, but again, I invite you guys to please like, share, and subscribe to your best friend, your new best friend. And also, don't worry about miserable people, alright? They just want to take your identity, alright? They have none. Peace.